Hello and welcome to the unboxing of my Gundam ashtray transformer wannabe like robot thing. Like most people, I purchased this because I accidentally watched loads of YouTube videos promoting it and the massive hype around it. Now I did have to say gimme 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 about 200 times and hold my breath until my face turned blue before I was allowed to buy it. Is probably what your children are going to say after you cave in and finally buy it for them. Now if you're a grown man like me, I would recommend buying this model online, not because it might be cheaper or anything, it's just so you don't have to go through the embarrassment of buying it in front of someone after your wife tells the checkout operator that it's for himself. This will however amuse the employee when they turn to you like a 5-year-old child and say, hope you enjoy your little model. So there is that. Now I did try watching some of the episodes on YouTube and TV, but unfortunately I was completely clueless on what was going on. So I was happy to find out that the instructions are also in Japanese, and that really didn't help me much either. I'm not quite sure why they've done that, seeing as this was marketed for the UK. I have however got Google Translate and I've taken some photos of the instructions and the little story, so you can pause them later in the video and read them if you also want to be completely clueless like me. Although this is the real grade and it's marketed more towards the experience model, the instructions are incredibly easy to follow and very clear, making it possible for anybody to make it, I believe. Apart from a side cutter to remove the parts of the sprue, no other real tools are needed to complete this model set. At the rear of the manual there is a painting guide for any people that are interested in painting themselves. Only really the small figure needs painting as it's the only thing that's not pre-coloured. However, unfortunately the action instructions do recommend you don't paint the model because it has a special coating which will be removed when using certain paints. There are also other YouTube videos out there where people have used enamels, for example, for panel lining. Unfortunately this caused some of the parts to break. The parts inside are pretty well packaged and none of the parts that I had seemed to be damaged. There was a slight bit of warping on one of the sprues where it was bent a little bit, but I believe it's because of the material they used. The particular sprue was the one that has the movable parts on it, which is very unique to this series of models, and is covered by the outside part, so it's completely hidden from view when the model is finally completed. Unlike certain manufacturers, the parts are actually very crisp and clear and there is very little flash, if any at all. The mould lines and seam lines are also completely invisible on most of the parts, so they require very little cleanup, although a set of files would help with the little parts left behind. Apart from the sprue that has the movable parts, there is another one that has multiple colours. I think this is Bandai's way of just showing off to other companies. However, there are smaller sprues in the kit, which I don't understand why they couldn't have just been included in some of the other small ones. I do like the fact that the Silver Samurai sword has a two-tone effect and has a wavy line where the blade edge would be. It is these small little touches that make the model more interesting and also more enjoyable when you discover them when you're building it. Although the instructions call them decals, the included sheet are actually stickers, which do help to enhance the model and give it a little bit more visual interest. Now this particular model cost about £30 and I'm actually quite happy with my purchase. In the following videos I will be showing how I built and weathered the model to give it a little bit more visual interest to set it apart from everyone else's. The following is actually the instruction sheet which I have translated and also the story after it. Thanks for watching and I hope you enjoyed.